Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sherrill Technology Channel. As always, I'm your host, Chris, and I'm back with another video. And in this one, sorry it took me so long. I wanted to take a little break, so I did. So in this video, we are going to be looking at this this right here, 10 proven ways to secure a computer network. Because of all of our security videos in the past, I really wanted y'all to see this and learn how to secure things. So here we go. The first step. Why do you need to do this? Because there's no point in you doing this if you don't know why you're doing it. The reason you do this is so that everything on your inside network, your LAN, your local area network, which is your house, can be protected. Now, that doesn't mean you're always going to be protected, but this will help a lot. Step one is this: install and monitor firewall performance. Now, for most of you, that's not going to make any difference because you're not even going to know what that means. Here is what I can tell you that you should get: a good firewall. Now, which, as you'll see up here at the top, see this little lock right here? Let's go look at this. Connection is secure. It's HTTPS. So if we do this right here, see this HTTPS on the front? This is a verified site that has a proper domain DNS name, and it will do those things. Now, you basically want to make sure that you have as few of those holes open or doors as possible. Let's just kind of look at this. Now, install a monitor firewall, block unauthorized access. That's how you do that. You have incoming and outgoing traffic. Outgoing, typically you do not block outgoing traffic. The only way you would want to do that if one of your kids is trying to use a VPN internally, get outside of to bypass all your filtering. That's the only exception. And I can show y'all at some point how to do that once I figure out exactly how I'm going to do that, because I'd have to block the port probably of like the VPN that we have. What we want to know is, how do we do this? Firewalls are very complicated and sophisticated and are becoming more sophisticated as time goes on. They're becoming more powerful. They're using AI to integrate with them. Now, you basically want to keep the bad stuff out and keep the good stuff in, and you don't want stuff to go haywire. Now, the first thing you want to do on a firewall, which would be your wireless router, that's a firewall and a router and a wireless device it's doing too many things at one time. What you want to do is you want to secure that to where it doesn't let stuff get in. Now, the first step, reset the default password. You can typically type in is this password right here at this login screen. Make sure it's not the same. Most of them will have this 192.168.1.1. Most of them will have that IP address. Type that into a web browser, look up the default password and username for your device, whatever it may be. It's most of the time admin password or admin admin or root admin or root pass. It's one of those. Now, this moves me on to my next point. Passwords are incredibly important. Y'all know who you are with the P and then the @ symbol, the 55 and the WORD. Stop it. Don't do that. That is it's already been hacked years and years ago. Use something that's different. Now, this is what I believe is the most important part, because just because they get access to the server does not mean that they can get access to your password. It depends. Most IT departments are understaffed. I've seen it 1,000 times. They're always understaffed. Passwords, this says yearly, when needed. You don't even know what that means, when needed. I would reset passwords every 3 to 6 months. Now, 3 months may be a little bit adventurous, but every 6 months, yeah, I would do that. I would come up with a password. Now, here's what it should have. It should have a capital letter, a lowercase letter, number, and a special character. At least, and a minimum, I use 20 characters. Y'all can use 15, but I would recommend at least 10 to 20, at least that many. 10 is the bare minimum, because the longer that password is and the more complicated it is, the tools can't find the password. It's like a brute force attack. What it does is it goes off of a list, passwords, and tries to figure the passwords out. And because your password is so complicated, it's not going to know what it is. That's why you use complicated passwords. It says changing passwords too often can lead to confusion and delays, leading employees to reach out to IT for reminders of their credentials. It's a bit of a tightrope. Now, there's a solution for that. I have a video that I will link in the description about password managers. Now, password managers are very good because they can actually create passwords for you. You log into the password manager, you remember one password, and it remembers all your other ones. Now, this is what I would also recommend all of you do. Two-factor authentication. It's going to help a lot. It will increase the security. You're wanting to make it as hard as possible. You want it as complicated and as hard as possible. Now, some of you may not have the knowledge for that, but you can make it pretty good. I mean, you can make it as good as it can possibly be. Now, lean on advanced endpoint detection. Now, this is more for enterprise organizations. We have a lot of this where I work, where we have like a bunch of different. SentinelOne is one of the tools that a lot of companies use because it works. It's AI based. It watches out for threats and watches behaviors too. So it does kind of both of those. Now, let's move on to the next. VPNs. Now, this may or may not apply to you. A VPN, you're not going to need it unless you're accessing your network remotely. I did another video. I'll also link that one in the description if you want me to, which I'm going to anyway. Basically, what happens is a VPN, you want to make sure that your stuff is secure or that it's encrypted. So if you're accessing your data across a public network, you're going to want to use a VPN if you're accessing your private home network from your phone or your laptop or whatever. You do not want to do that junk, just remote into it. You don't want to do that. Create a VPN. Now, if there are people out there who want a VPN video, I will make one. I have did it with my network. I have a VPN, and I have a really complicated password that follows that 20 character rule that I have set for myself, and all of my passwords for all of my stuff is different, and they're at least 20 characters. So, I mean, I'm pretty good, I think. I mean, does that mean that people can't hack it? No, that's not what that means. Now, moving on to probably one of the most important things that should have been at number one, training your employees or your family on what to do and what not. You want to remind them of the proper techniques and the proper uses. So, for instance, change your passwords ever so often, every 6 months. Make a calendar notification that says, hey, I need to change my password for such and such and such, and just set it up to where it does it all the time, every year, twice a year. That way you don't forget. And don't use excuses. It's too hard. It's too complicated. It is not hard, and nor is it complicated. If you have a password manager, all this stuff becomes a lot easier. But training for your family, train yourself first, then train your family, and make sure you're looking at things. Here's another one that I see all the time. This is a big one for me. But oh my goodness, So I have Bitdefender. Stop it. It's amazing how it does it right when I'm in the middle of a video. Yay, thank you. So the next one is filter and delete spam emails. Now, this one can be a little more difficult. Now, I know there's some of you out there who knows what a spam email looks like, but I'm here to tell you that they are getting more and more complicated. The emails that I have seen lately, man, they're pretty good. I'm going to tell you, they didn't fool me, but I've been doing this a while. For you, they may. So here's my advice to you. This is simple, basic stuff. If you don't know who it came from, if you don't know them, delete it. Report it as spam. That way, I'm telling you, that's a really good rule to live by. If you don't know who it is, delete it. First, you report it as spam, and then delete it. That's what you should do. Now, employees need to have their common sense filters. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of true, but at this point, it's really not because they're so much more complicated now. Now, this is another important one. Shut down computers when not in use. That's a very, very, very important rule to follow because if your computer is running all the time, right, it's going to access the network at some point, right, to pull data in, to go check for updates. You don't want it doing that when you're not at it, so shut it down. When you're not using it, shut it down. Now, and this is what, I mean, it's visible. Your computer is visible when it's on. If it's not on, it's not visible, unless you have, like, Wake on LAN turned on. That'll make it. But most of the time, it's not going to be. Now, let's move to the next one. Encrypt your files. Now, this is a hard one because it depends upon what you're using and what you're doing. Don't store files on your computer, man. Please, for the love of God, whoever's doing that, and you know who you are, stop doing that. If you do it, you need to password protect everything. Encrypt that junk. Make it to where they can't get into it. It's just this much more work to encrypt it and make it secure. It's that much more work. You spend all this time saying how important your files are, right? You say, my files are so important to me, I just can't lose them. But then you don't do anything to protect them. So they must not be that important. Am I right? Am I right? I'm just saying protect your files, encrypt them. If it's something you need, protect it. Secure personal devices. Oh my goodness, this is so big. How many of y'all go on Facebook? Raise your hand. Just raise your hand right now. I know all y'all do. It's okay. Well, it's probably not okay to go on Facebook because they're collecting all kinds of data on you. The key is to not do stupid stuff. That's the key. Use common sense, man. If it seems too good to be true and it's an ad, then they're wanting you to click on it. Don't click on it. I mean, that's kind of how they do. Now, the final point I want to make is ask for help. You don't know what to do, ask somebody. Ask me. In this video, in the description, I'm going to put my 2 videos that I told you about. But I'm also, if you want to know something from me, just put it down in the comment section. Down in the comment section. That reminds me, like, comment, subscribe. Thank y'all. And put it down in the comments section, and I will read it. And I will do my very best to help you. And if I don't know, I know 100 other people. I got a lot of friends in IT that do know if I don't know. So that's the good thing about having a big network of people that I can pull from and that can pull from me. If they don't know something, I probably know. Do this. Ask for help. Do not be ashamed to ask for help. I ask for help all the time because I don't know everything, and neither do you. If you don't know, ask. That's the key. And I would ask more than one person. I would ask 4 people, 5 if you have to, because you want to be pulling from different sources. You want to be pulling from different people. You don't want to go off of one person's opinion. You want a bunch of opinions. And that's my advice. Now, part of the expertise you can expect from a technology management partner, so you could actually hire somebody to work with you and help you. Now, that you could hire me. You could hire my friend Toby Gertz Technology. Excellent dude. Excellent business. He does a great job. Yeah, he's my competitor, but he's excellent at what he does. He is very, very good. Very good. I'm good too, but he's better than me. I'm going to tell you that. I believe that's going to be all of the video. If y'all have any questions, leave them down in the comments because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to teach you and to help you to learn to do things the right way. And until the next video, everybody, sir, my work phone. Until the next video, y'all. I love y'all. Peace.